What you know, Alibis. Welcome to another episode of Pretty Lies and Alibis. I'm Gigi. It's Thursday, April 3rd still, and we are going to jump into part 3 of the pre-trial crash course into the murder of Charles Vallow. One thing I wanted to touch on before we jump in is Kay Woodcock testified that the reason Charles moved back to Houston with JJ is because only Lori's family was in Arizona. He moved back to Texas to be closer to family, and also Kay and Larry could help with JJ. Kay would travel to Houston to keep JJ while Charles traveled for work, and Kay and Larry lived only about 2.5 hours away from Houston. On the last episode, we dropped off with Charles and Adam talking about an intervention for Lori. We are still on June 29th. I'm not going to tell each time that these text messages were sent. It just gets to be a lot. Sometimes there were little gaps in between when Charles would message Lori, but they are all on the same day. And we are at 5:47 a.m., June 29th. Charles to Lori. Why would you send a letter with my name on it to your Chad? He is not staying at my house. I will be there to make damn sure he doesn't. You have literally lost your mind. You will be stopped. I'll pick up JJ on Tuesday after school, and I'll bring him back Friday. Why are you creating an email address under my name? You're unbelievable. Is he with whom you're having an affair? He did not stay with us in Arizona in November. Who are you lying to now? Trying to destroy another family? You're evil, period. I may take JJ back to Houston unless you have a great explanation for all of this. I will not let him be a party to your apostasy. Just so you know, I have Tammy's email address. I will send a copy of, and he has in quotes, my email. You better explain. A little later, Charles to Lori. I now have Tammy Daybell's cell number. I'll text her a copy of the letter and an explanation of what you're up to. You have until noon your time to explain, or I'm sending via text and email to her. At least now I know where all the cash went. You are unbelievable. How are you or anyone you know going to? I'm willing to pay you well to help me get this book in shape as my ghostwriter. Or I might just go up to Idaho like you did in March and visit Tammy at her school. I'm sure she'd love to know the whole story of what you and her husband have been up to. Librarians aren't usually that busy. You need to explain why you're writing emails in my name. I'm sure you're up by now. You have until 10 a.m. your time to respond, or I send the emails and text to Tammy. Lori texts back at 7:09 a.m. Call me. Can you please send the charger to JJ's police car? He wants to drive it. Charles, sure. Right after I send the email and text to Tammy, I'll get right on that. I'll bring it with me since the mail won't be there before me. I'll be there Monday evening. Hack, you said? Funny. All your emails are still on your computer that's here in the kitchen. Lori, you just sent an email saying you were me apparently, so yes, hack. Charles, I sent it from your computer. Of course it's going to say it's you. Be smart, Lori. You're not thinking. You have until 10, as I said, to explain, or I send a note to Tammy Daybell. Lori, good for you. Bravo. Charles, please don't use my name anymore to send emails. I'll send them to Tammy now if you're not going to tell me why you sent an email using my name. If you don't stop, you might as well move back in with Alex. I'll call Joe shortly and tell him what a mistake we made. I'm trying to be nice, and you send emails supposedly written by me to carry on your affair? You will be stopped. You need some serious help. Lori, do what you want. You are a big fake. Charles, I love you too. JJ will come back with me. Lori, great. You are all big frauds. This is just the icing on the cake. Charles, it'll be tough at first since you already abandoned him. He'll get used to it. When I get married again, he'll love his new mommy who doesn't belong in the nut house. Lori, sure. Disrupt his life again when he just got settled. I'm sure you really care about him. Charles, someone has to protect him from his crazy mommy. I'm just worried you'll run off and disappear again with him. I wouldn't put it past you and your nuthouse friends. Lori, worry away. Charles, something is going on with you and Chad. I will find out, and so will Tammy. I meant it when I said you will be stopped. You can't continue to destroy lives and think you're doing the Lord's work. You are ill, Lori, and I'm the only one brave enough and loved you enough to try to get you help. You destroyed our life, and I feel so sorry for you. Your mind is twisted, as I know you still believe all those things about yourself, and that is apostasy. I will be there Monday evening, and I will stay there at the house with him. You should probably leave. Tylee, too. I don't care if you stay, but just stay out of my way. Explain the letter you sent, or I will send it to Tammy Daybell. You have 1 hour and 15 minutes. I imagine the stake president would be real interested as to why you're sending emails with my name on it that I didn't write. I wonder. I just emailed and texted Tammy. Let's shine some light on this issue and we see what we all see. So now I see it. Is your cutout to get your singing and other stuff to Chad Daybell? Interesting. I wonder what his wife will think. A little later, I'd like to speak with you about next week and JJ. Nothing else. When is a good time? Lori, just text me when you want to get him and bring him back. It's fine. Charles, excuse me, but I'm staying there. I figure you'll be busy running around with your boyfriend writing your book, so you can stay with him. Interesting that you went on a Legion to Idaho Falls on Sunday, March 3rd and came back Tuesday, March 5th. I guess that was to see your boyfriend? Wow, you're amazing. You accuse me of what you are doing. Are you even going to deny it? That's what I thought. You are the destroyer. You blame others for what you're doing yourself. Too many people know what you're up to. You will be stopped. I won't be anywhere near there when it happens. You need to repent, and you might escape with your soul intact. Maybe, just maybe. He goes on to talk about her destroying their lives as well as Brandon and Melaniece. He says, you steal cash to fund whatever it is you're doing and fly around cheating on me and our faith while going to the temple regularly. You obviously think all these things about yourself make you special. You are an incredible hypocrite. You make up a story about some girl I've never heard of calling you, saying I cheated on you only to distract from your evil ways. I'll be there to take care of JJ. This will not end well for you, and I will be as far away as I can until I come get JJ. Just so you and Chad know, I am going to talk to Tammy in person if I have to. I've already emailed and texted her. Your game is up. Why, Lori? Why have you done this to our family? I'll never understand. Lori, when you're done ranting and raving, I'll be happy to talk rationally to you about what's best for JJ and our divorce. That's really all I have to say. Charles, I'm quite rational. Are you actually going to go to court? Lori, no, but you clearly don't want to be married to me. So let's just do it the easiest way possible for JJ. We both love him. You don't want to be married to me. That's quite the way to put it, Lori. Charles, call me and we can discuss. Sorry if the truth hurts, but what you're doing is apostasy. I thought we were going to talk about the divorce. You keep hanging up and it'll be tougher on our boy. Lori, define the word apostasy for me. Charles, if I have to define it for you, then you obviously know what it is. If you hadn't lied to President, you wouldn't have gotten your temple recommended back. That's apostasy. Lori, I will talk to you if you can talk without calling me names. Charles, I didn't call you names. Call if you want. Lori, you called me evil. Charles, please don't make up any more email addresses using my name. It's really creepy. Lori, ditto. Charles, ditto. I've never made an email alias under your name and sent it to a cutout to further cheating on my spouse. Your email to Chad Daybell is exactly that. How else would you explain it? That's right, you can't. You're actually inviting and paying him substantial money to come to Arizona. That's what your letter that you wrote fraudulently in my name said. All your deeds are coming under the light. He goes on to say a lot of these preparing of people members like Hector, Thor, and Jason, along with everyone else at the next conference, will be intrigued when they read the fictitious email you sent in my name for Chad. I can make sure everyone at the conference knows you and Chad have been going at it. I have the emails of your dance videos and your songs you sent to him as well. It's going to be so much fun. Your game is up. You've lied one too many times. You've destroyed enough lives. The whole world will know about you and Chad. I'll even send all the emails from January. I'll also include his bishop and his stake president. You've gone too far. Now you will pay the price for all your lies. See you next week, babe. Have a great weekend. A little later, you can apologize to me for all your lies. If you do finally tell the truth, I may only go to Chad's wife. Since I've already emailed and texted her, it's too late. But I will actually go to the next conference and hand out all your lies on a thumb drive. It's up to you. Otherwise, I'll make sure the whole world knows what you really are. Charles also tells Lori to stop spending money on the credit cards. Now, the same day at 9:16 a.m., Charles emails Tammy. Tammy, my name is Charles Vallow. I have some vital and disturbing information regarding your husband and my wife, Lori. This is your work email, so I'll wait to send you the evidence that is very disturbing. You may call or email me from the address where you can receive the information. I apologize to be the one sending this, but something has to be done. I feel it's best if I shed some light on the issue. Regards, Charles Vallow. At 9:32, Charles emails Chad. The subject was emails from Lori Vallow. Chad, I'm Lori's husband, but I gathered you already knew this. She sent an email yesterday, supposedly written by me, to KK Walker, inviting you to Arizona next week and to ghostwrite a book I'm supposedly working on. It's preposterous. I happened to run across it as she left her computer at our Houston home. I am not paying anybody for anything, and I'm not writing a book. Either you or Lori need to tell me what's going on, or this will be exposed for all to see. Regards, Charles Vallow. There was a second portion of this email that read, and does your wife know you have several of Lori's dance videos? Explain how this is in any way appropriate. She sent them to you at your request in January, Charles. The same day, Charles emails Tammy again. The subject, your husband and my wife. And inside the email are having an affair. Her name is Lori Vallow. I've got definitive proof if you care to see it. Contact me and I'll share it with you. It's devastating, I know, but the truth needs to be shown. Charles Vallow. Now, there is no proof that Tammy Daybell ever read these messages. The school district said it's possible she read them and then deleted them or just deleted them. There's no record of these emails in her accounts. And investigators did send warrants to phone and email accounts to see if there was any communication between Charles and Tammy. They searched records from June 28th through the date of Tammy's death, October 19th. There were no emails or call records between Charles and Tammy. The theory for me is this was summertime for school. Tammy was a librarian. I think it's very possible that Chad could have been monitoring Tammy's email with the heads up that Charles gave Lori and deleted them before Tammy could see them. We do know that Melanie Gibb testified Lori told her Tammy was suspicious of Lori and Chad. Still on the 29th, Charles and Lori's brother Adam continue to text. Charles tells Adam he did contact Tammy and said it should be really interesting when he talks to her on Monday. July 1st, 10 days before the murder, Lori texts Charles, "What is your plan with JJ? Are you planning to fly with him tomorrow? Call me." Charles, "I'm going to Idaho first to meet with Tammy Daybell." Lori, "She won't see you. She's my friend. She won't listen to you. Go ahead. You are ridiculous. Are you coming to JJ for the 4th or not?" Charles, Again, tells Lori she's destroying lives and says, "You have a serious disconnect. Otherwise, you'd send your lover Moroni to come zap me or put me in a pod," and something about Joe Ryan there at the end. Also, at some point in that text argument, Lori calls Charles Joe Ryan. July 2nd, Zulema texts Lori she was given instructions to rip, tear, or burn the aura of Iplos to let the energy out so the entity cannot re-enter. Chad tells Zulema that her and Lori have done an amazing job and thanks her for all of her help with Iplos, saying Iplos is very close. Charles would end up not coming to Arizona the weekend of July 4th. Charles texts Lori saying if she wanted a break, she could go to a hotel when he is in town that next Thursday. He said he would like to stay and wake up with JJ. Fast forwarding a bit to July 8th, Charles is in Valencia, California for work. He asked Lori to book him a room for his upcoming visit, which she does. That stay was booked for July 10th through the 13th. Lori texts Zulema and asks her to call up an earthquake since Iplos was traveling in Valencia at the time. Lori says, sadly, Iplos is safe, but they will continue to do work on him, and eventually the elements will obey. The same day, Brandon files for divorce from Melaniece and also asks for custody of their kids. Melaniece will continue to pay on Brandon's life insurance policy, and she is the beneficiary. Zulema texts Lori, I had to get home so I could go in my portal out there. I asked if we do that, the ramifications of the things to come, we are not ready for at this time. From what I understand is that when Iplos is gone, things are going to be a domino effect, one after another. What do we need to do to be ready for all that is coming? July 9th. This is the day investigators say Lori learned of the intervention. Charles and Adam text to make plans for Adam to come to Arizona. Adam told Charles he would keep his phone on record because they would need proof for the church official to be able to revoke Lori's temple recommend. Charles thought Lori would just leave, but said it was worth a try. Lori sends Alex the address to the new house, the one where Charles would be killed in. Melanie Gibb texts Lori and says she wants to come over. Lori responds, all my family and the kids are here, so it's chaos right now. Melanie Gibb replies, okay, let me know when. 7:06 p.m., Chad calls Lori and they talk for an hour and 8 minutes. 7:21 p.m., Lori texts Melaniece saying she needed to talk to her ASAP and would call her in 5 minutes as she was finding out what to do. 7:22, Melaniece calls Lori, but Lori was on the phone with Chad. Investigators note, based on the text messages, it was their opinion that Melaniece was aware of what was going to take place. 7:23, Gibb texts Lori, are they there still? 7:45, Chad does a Google search. When you surprise someone with accusations. 7:50, Charles texts Lori, did our boy do okay today? Lori doesn't respond. 7:55, Gibb again texts Lori, I'm waiting at your house, so let me know when you're ready for me to come in. 8 p.m., Lori to Melaniece. She was supposed to be traveling out of town for a wedding, but Lori says, you can't go tomorrow. It's a setup for both of us. Still on the phone finding out the details. They have an elaborate plan. I'll call you soon. 8:03, Lori finally texts Melanie Gibb back saying, I'm in the backyard on an important call. You can come back here quietly. At 8:05, Melaniece texts Lori, I could take all the babies with and drive and take our stuff. Lori, you can't go at all. We both need to stay here to defend ourselves. 1 minute later, Lori texts Melaniece again saying it's coming to a head. This week will change everything. Melaniece, probably why I have felt sick about going. Lori, call me. At 8:15 p.m., the call between Lori and Chad ends, and investigators note that while Lori was talking to Chad during this time frame, there were also several messages between them, but there was no content on the iCloud records, So, in other words, investigators could see there were text messages, but the actual text messages themselves were not there. From 8:15 to 8:30, Lori and Melaniece talk on the phone. When that call ends, Lori texts Melaniece and tells her to keep Melaniece and Brandon's daughter away from Brandon. 9:03, Lori to Alex. So the plot thickens. Call me when you can. From 9:03 to 9:50 p.m., Lori is texting Melaniece, Alex, and Chad. Investigators were not able to retrieve the messages between Lori and Chad. 9:16, Lori to Melaniece. They are gathering witnesses. It's just like Twilight. They are the vultures. At 9:39, Charles still has not gotten a response from Lori about JJ, so he texts a bunch of question marks. 9:50, Lori to Alex. Getting sleepy, so I'm going to need you to stay close to me the next couple of days. Mel, too. She can't go to Utah. They are planning some kind of intervention, but want Mel out of the way so I'm left alone. I need to come get the stuff at your house tomorrow and secure it. Lots to do. Thank you for standing by me. It's all coming to a head this week. I'll be like Nephi, I am told, and so will you. 9:56, Alex calls Lori and they talk for 56 minutes. 10:27 p.m., Charles to Lori. He asked if she spent $196 at a Walmart grocery in Provo the day before. Lori doesn't respond until the next morning and says no, she spent $49 getting lamps on Walmart.com. Gibb spends the night with Lori. Gibb told investigators she was in the process of divorcing her husband and Lori invited her to stay, but I bet you guys that was before it all hit the fan. July 10th, the day before Charles is murdered. Lori wakes up, tells Melanie Gibb, you gotta go. She said Charles was coming into town and was going to kill her. Gibb asked why, and Lori said Adam, Brandon, and Lori's dad were going to kill her for a life insurance policy. She said they all were dark spirits and wanted her money. Colby confirmed Lori was saying this, except to him, it was Brandon, Adam, and someone named Edgar. July 10th, Charles arrives in Arizona. He texts Lori to confirm the hotel room is booked and paid for. She confirms it is. He responds, thanks. I'll see him tomorrow. Take him to school and pick him up. Friday too. Thanks. Charles flies Lori's brother Adam to Arizona to help with the intervention. He texts Adam and says he's uneasy about how Lori will respond to the both of them and Brandon. Charles says he'll pick up JJ and take him to school on Thursday. That would be the day Charles is murdered. He says Lori will be there. He'll do the same with JJ on Friday. He says Lori will be suspicious they're recording her, so Charles tells Adam maybe he should put his phone on the counter and power it off and bring a second device. Charles says he feels Lori is just too far gone, but he wants to save other families from the same fate as his. He tells Adam he loves Lori more than life, but the Lori they knew is gone and he fears forever. Charles texts Lori he would arrive at 7:30 that next morning to pick up JJ to take him to school. Chad calls Lori at 9:50 a.m. and they talk for 2 hours and 29 minutes. At 10:25 a.m., while on the phone with Chad, Lori texts Melaniece. I think so, but I think they are moving their plans to tomorrow since they will still try to get rid of you. Melaniece, I wish there was a way to somehow be at the wedding, but I know this is more important. Lori, I know, baby. I'm so sorry. This is important to your mission, even though I know it's hard to just sit there. At 3:50 p.m., Chad calls Lori and they talk for 30 minutes. 7:18 p.m., Lori texts Melaniece and tells her Alex is there and Charles will be coming over in the morning. 7:49 p.m., Charles texts his landlord and says he wants to find a new place to live because things are not working out with Lori, and so the two of them plan to meet up the next morning. That is it for this episode. On the next episode, we're going to go through the day Charles is shot and killed. So, hope you guys have a good rest of your afternoon, and we will see you soon.